In this video, I want to take a detailed look at the insights function in the back end of Udemy to help you with your course strategy. Now, you find this by going into your course management area, and then you go into your instructor dashboard, and then you'll see insights in the menu selection, and you click on that. So it's very easy to get to. What you need to do first is to decide on the primary keyword or topic you want to look for. Now, this is really helpful because the first thing you're going to discover is whether actually Udemy recognizes what you want to use as a keyword as a topic or not. And the first time I tried this, actually, I found that it didn't recognize the topic, so I've had to change it. But I'm going to use social media marketing as an example throughout this lecture. It equates to one of the courses I've got, which actually is quite an old course and definitely needs updating, but it also makes a very good contrast against what I'm about to discover in Insights itself. Now we start off, and the first thing you can see is the ratings and whether or not there's high demand and a high number of courses. And you can see for this particular topic, there's high student demand and there's a high number of courses. Now, high student demand is great, but a high number of courses means there's a lot of competition out there. Of course, the fact there's a lot of competition shows you there's a strong market in it. Now, if we look at the other two criteria, the median revenue and the top revenue, median revenue at $24 actually isn't bad from the range of some I've seen. And the more you look at, the more you'll see whether or not you're happy with a median of 24 as an indicator. The top earning course is earning $6,185. That's fantastic. And that's really why this is quite an interesting area to go and compete for, because there is some real revenue potential in this segment. So, obviously there's some work going to need to be done. The next thing to do is to look at the student demand. And again, this segment, social media marketing, scores highly on both counts. It's in the 97th percentile of demand in terms of search volume. There's a lot of people searching for this. And equally, the search trends are consistently high. So this is, again, a very good indicator that this is something that's worth spending some time on. The next area you can look at is the top search keywords. And you can pick out from these the ones which might be appropriate to your course and make a note of them for either using in your title or your subtitle. But it's also helping you to see what other areas you need to be including in your course, such as Facebook, Instagram, and other social media marketing platforms. Now, Instagram marketing may be not particularly relevant, perhaps, if I'm not really good at Instagram. Certainly for this, Etsy, which is an online shop thing, isn't really very helpful for what I want to do. So I've crossed that one out. It also shows you the percentage of keywords being searched. So it shows you that social media marketing and marketing are the top two. Social media is pretty good, digital marketing is less so. So again, it gives you an indication of the importance of these keywords in Udemy. Tremendously helpful stuff. Now, the other topics of interest require you to do more homework, because it really prompts you to go and open up each one of these as a separate page and look at them and take a ranking on them and see what you can learn from them in addition. And of all the information that we're going through in this lecture, you will be getting on each of those pages. It's a very good way of doing more in-depth research, but I'm not going to get sidetracked or go down that particular rabbit hole right now. The other topics of interest also help you to to discover which other keywords you might bring into your course and other topics you might need to make sure you address. So I've made a list of the ones from the topics list on the right, and these are topics which I'm now going to have to give consideration to, both for SEO purposes and for course content purposes. The next thing you take a look at is the source of traffic. So enrollments by channel. And it shows you Udemy Discovery, Udemy Search, outside sources, instructor promotions, paid ads, and affiliate. This is telling me that over 70% of the traffic comes from internal Udemy. So, this is again something which you actually don't have to do very much work for, because instructor promotions are very low. Outside sources are only 20%. So if you have a high ranking course in this area, 70% of them are going to be found internally in Udemy. Now, the 3.5% conversion rate, I actually don't know whether this is a very high or a low number. I need to look at a lot more. But I guess it's telling you that of the courses that are found, 3.5% convert. And I guess if you think about it in a sort of marketing terms, if you're getting 3.5% conversion, if you sent out, say, an offer, then you'd probably be quite happy with that. But I would like to see more figures, which is why I put a question mark against it. Now we're going to look at the competition more directly. 143 courses list this social media marketing topic as their primary topic. So you're directly competing effectively with 143 courses. And of these, 14 are ranked 4.5 or above. And 42% of enrollments go to those highly ranked courses, which this tells me that I need to get my course to get rated above, at least above 4.5 in order to start getting more conversions to it. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to get outcompeted by the other ones. And don't forget, everything on Udemy is 80-20. So if you can get into the top 20%, you're going to get 80% of the reward. So this is really, really important. Now, it also shows you the top earning courses, the 5 top earning courses. And this gives you some very, very interesting information. The first thing to note is that 2 of these 5 have got bestseller tags on them, which is something that's really good to have, because it's another social proof thing which will get students to want to take a closer look and enroll. But it also means they're more difficult to compete against. What you do need to do, though, is to look more closely at these and to take a good close look at the details. And that's what we're going to do next. The first thing we're going to look at is say, how many lectures does each of these courses have? And you can see the numbers down the side there. Now, my course has only 25 lectures, and this is telling me I've got to kick myself up the backside and actually up the number of lectures quite significantly. And you can see there that at the bottom course, which is called Start a Successful Social Media Marketing Agency from Home, which I'm not actually really competing against in terms of content, but in terms of the number of lectures, it's only got 33 lectures. And I ought to be able to certainly exceed that without too much trouble. So that's giving me some information. The next thing is the hours duration. Now, my course actually says it has 1 hour duration. There's quite a lot of ancillary materials, which means it does take more time. But for the purposes of this, it has 1 hour. And you can see that it's 4.5, 5 hours. Actually, this 4.5 is lower than 5. But the point here is I really need to get my course up to the sort of 5 and 6 hour mark at least, which means I need to get a lot more content in it. The average rating, my course is only rating 4 at the moment. And as we've already discussed, I really need to get it up to 4.5. You can see that even one of these courses only has a rating of 4.2. It does, however, as you're about to see in the next slide, have over 5,000 ratings, which is why it's ranking up there. So this is clearly a trade-off between the ranking average and the number of ratings, which we can now take a look at. And you can see that, they are in the hundreds, and I'm only got 51. Albeit I do know I've got a lot of students in my courses. It would be interesting to look at the numbers of students in these courses. It would also be interesting to look at when these courses were last updated. This information is not shown here. You'd need to go and look at each individual course to find that out. But you can expect the courses to have been updated recently, and you can expect them to obviously have a lot of students. If they've got 5,400 ratings, they must have at least 20,000 students. So that's something to take a close look at. So let's summarize what we've found out from this little bit. Essentially, the top courses do have areas they can be attacked on, but they are still nonetheless a long way ahead of where my course is. So I need to up my number of lectures to at least 60 and probably 100. I need to increase the time of the course to over 6 hours. I need to up the rating to over an average of 4.5, and I need to get at least 100 ratings. So this means I've got an awful lot of work to do in terms of getting this course into some sort of shape in order to rank better in Udemy. Let me actually take a look and see how far off page 1 my course actually is. And the way you do this is you open an incognito or anonymous window so you don't get any cookie bias. And you go and have a look at the category and subcategory that your course is in. My course is, as you can see, it's in the category in the course management landing page. You can see where it's been set. My course is marketing and content marketing. So I then went into the content marketing search area, put in all courses, and then sorted by the highest rated. And I just basically turned the pages until I saw my course come up. And here it is. My course came up on page 18. And given that there are 12 courses per page, then basically there are 17 pages, 17 12s are about 200 or thereabouts. So I'm ranking around number 200 for my course, which is actually not surprising given how far it is behind the competition. But at least I know now what criteria I need to apply to get my course ranking higher. So a little bit of immediate SEO action is to change the title, because my course title says social media strategy, which is not an existing Udemy topic. Much better to put in social media marketing, because that is a strong topic. So I've made that change, and in the subtitles I've changed the subtitles to include these other two topics, social media marketing and social media strategy, again to strengthen my SEO on that course, and that should give me a boost straight away. And I've made a note to myself that I need to actually do something about SEO in my course so I can build that in as well, because that's obviously related very closely to these searches. So let's summarize and see where we've got to. What you have to do is to decide what your primary keyword for your course is. You then can check demand and the revenue potential. You can then look at the search volumes and see how high they are. You can cross-check against other keywords and other topics. You can identify the sources of traffic and see how much is organically from Udemy. You can identify the directly competing courses and see which ones are rating higher than 4.5. See the number of courses in total, and therefore gives you a very close idea of what you need to do to start getting your course ranking even higher. And then you can look at the top 5 courses for this particular topic, and you can look at the number of lectures, the hour's duration, the average rating, and the number of ratings. If you go to the courses themselves, you can also take a look at the number of students, and you can have a look at when the courses were last updated. So by using insights strategically, you can find out an awful lot of information which will guide you not only for your course creation, but also it will guide you to help you to improve an existing course to make it more competitive, and therefore it should improve its earning potential organically in the long term. So the last thing I would say is go and take a look at the top 5 courses. Don't enroll in them, but have a look at their content list and their lecture list, and look at which subtopics, if you like, topics inside the course they are covering, which you know about, which you can cover. And therefore, what additional content can you effectively make for your course that will improve your course and make it able to compete with these top 5 courses even more effectively. And that's an extra tip that you can learn from understanding which courses Udemy see as the top 5 courses. So there you are. That is how to use Udemy's Insights. It's a really useful page. It gives you lots of information that you can very quickly assimilate and use, not only in your course planning, but also when you've got existing courses, to make those courses even more competitive and even more revenue producing in the medium and long term. These are not quick fixes, but this is telling you exactly what you need to do to make your courses better all the time.